What's up, everybody? We're back for day 2 at the Greater Austin Comic Con. Whole Team Lift family's been hanging out here, been having a blast. Yesterday was packed full of interviews. But today, we're actually getting to spend the time with the guys that I actually call friends of the show, the people that I hang out with. Today, my boy Kevin Garcia was out here, had a panel yesterday out here also. And man, we just wanted to catch up with him because I know you're kind of busy. You're going to be leaving here in a little bit, right?
Yeah, I got to get going. I got a couple of things I have to do. Yesterday, I had a panel on speedsters talking about how speedsters created the multiverse in terms of comic books and how they destroyed it and created it over and over again, just doing nothing but running.
Right. Oh, see, good stuff. Now, Kevin, let's talk about it. The way I met Kevin was we were at the Black Panther presentation that the next crew put on at Dragon Slayer Comics here in Austin. You presented why Black Panther is more Batman than Batman. I ended up doing basically the history of Black Panther, kind of like Black Panther 101, and we kind of just met there, and it was just like, I like this guy, and it's cool, but you do some really cool stuff. Now, I know you're a historian, you're an educator, but you actually wrote for one of the Marvel handbooks or the appendix.
I'm a teacher professionally, but I also am a freelance writer, and I've written with the Marvel handbooks, the official handbooks of the Marvel Universe. That's basically where the pros go to get the biographies of superheroes, to get where the history is, get it all in one place. So my job would then to be to read a bunch of comics and narrow it down into 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 pages about the history of this character, that character. Right. I wrote Beast, for example. I wrote his biography for Marvel from X-Men. Yep. And of course, Blue Marvel we talked about a lot.
Which we talked about, and which this year, 2018, we're doing a show. We have to sit down and do a sit down and go in depth into that whole thing, because there was some fascinating stuff that we talked about off camera about Blue Marvel. And I know a lot of people that listen to the show have asked us questions and sent in questions since then. Some of the guys we met sent us questions. I want to sit you down and let's get some of those answered one day.
I think that'd be a great idea.
Yeah, no, because I got a inbox full of questions about Blue Marvel that we're going to get you to answer.
Believe me, he's one of my favorites. He's a guy that I love talking about. I love characters set in older eras,
right? And
I love characters that have like deeper meaning to like who they are and what they are. And I have a thing for like this idea of the old school like overpowered heroes. Everybody was always like, that hero's too strong or that hero's too smart, and I'm like, I like putting all that together in one guy.
Right. No, and it was a great story. I mean, like, there's some socio-political undertones to that whole story that I really love and identify with. So we're definitely going to do that. I don't want to hold you up, man, but here's one of the other things I know. It was the Marv UN app. I guess that was one of the fan-made sites?
So, kind of. So it's the unofficial handbook of the Marvel Universe.
Right.
And actually the people who put that together are the same people who make the official handbook of the Marvel Universe. Awesome. What happened is in the early 2000s, this was a group of fans that just wanted to put as professional as possible their listing of like every appearance of like really minor heroes, people who hadn't heard of a lot, people that didn't get full handbook entries, which they called it the appendix to the handbook. And then when Marvel wanted to make the official handbooks again, bring them back after the 80s, when they were big in the 80s and early 90s, they went to these guys and said, can you make us a new version of the handbook? So that team went on to make the actual handbooks for the Marvel Universe. So while it is the unofficial, everything in there is approved, by people that work with Marvel. So it works really well.
Oh, that is so cool.
And I've done a few things with them on both sides of that.
So we see. This is why I tell you, the guys that we meet have to have their own episodes, because there's a whole lot of wealth of information here that we're going to have to get out of you. Man, I just want to catch up with you before you get out of here. It's always a pleasure seeing you, brother, and I appreciate you just taking a little bit of time before you get out of here today to just spend with us. Definitely Team Lift family. We're going to hook you up. We're going to tell you how to follow this guy. A lot of cool things, and you do a lot of cons I've noticed lately.
I've been doing panels and moderating at conventions for like 10 years here in Texas.
Yeah, and see, I just met you for the first time doing that one. You got any more planned for July if they're not here working at
No, I just did a couple panels over in Comic Palooza in Houston. I have this one now. I don't have anything lined up for the immediate future, but I love doing panels. So or moderating if they need to moderate. In South by Southwest, the American or the English voice actress rather for Zelda showed up and they needed a moderator. They knew I moderated, so they called me. So I ended up being her moderator on stage. At South by.
I actually followed you on Instagram and saw you at South by Southwest, and I was so jealous. I was like, he does so much cool stuff. So,
Yeah, fake it till you make it.
hey, bro, that's the way to do it, man. Dude, appreciate you always dropping
Thanks,
by,
Rob.
man. We got to set that show up. Also, I do know if you want to follow the website, monomythic.com.
Yeah, monomythic.com. It's a blog that I do because I used to be a full-time reporter and I miss it. However, no one pays me for it, so I really only write posts when I feel like it.
All right. Nothing wrong with that. I've actually jumped over there and read a lot of cool comic book stuff
Thanks.
on that page, so I definitely recommend it. We'll have links for it at the bottom of the video for you guys, monomythic.com. Do yourself a favor. If you got some time to kill, go there and read it. There's some good stuff to read there. Brother, thanks once again, man.
Thanks,
you
Rob.
guys, thanks for watching. Keep with us. Stay subscribed to the channel. We're going to keep bringing you information. We're going to be out here for day 2. It's going to be a jam-packed day, but we're going to try to get as much information and video to you as possible. Thanks for watching. Please click the subscribe button. Peace.